Am I audible, Deep? Am I audible to
Yes, you're
you?
audible. So I would like to welcome you all to today's session by GDSC Rajasthan College of Engineering for Women Jaipur. And today's host will be Aparna. She is a co-team member, and we will be hosting an information session on the solution challenge. So let's get started. Okay.
Shall I
Aparna, you
start,
can
Deep?
start from the beginning since there was some
Okay.
network issue.
Okay, sure. So first of all, this is Aparna Sinha, and I'm the Creative and Management Lead of GDSC RCEW Jaipur. First, I would like to ask you one question: that do you feel excited to learn latest Google technologies? If yes, then there is a huge opportunity for you all, as GDSC is announcing its Solution Challenge 2022. Please move the slide, Deep. We all are here to let you know about the GDSC Solution Challenge. Please move to the content slide, the previous one.
Aparna, your voice is breaking a bit. Can you write in the chat about the slides? Then I'll coordinate with you.
Yeah, sure, Deep. Yeah, sure, Deep. Content slide. Can you just start the recording? Yeah, yeah, Deep. Shall I start?
All right, we can get
Am I audible to you?
started.
Yeah, am I audible to you all?
Yes, you're audible to me.
Yeah. So first of all, we are checking over the table of contents. In this, we're checking out the overview of the solution challenge, following the prizes which you will get if your team gets selected in it, and then the judging criteria you have to keep in mind while giving your solution challenge, and then the timeline in which you get to know about your deadlines. After that, we will see some overview videos and some of the resources, and following the frequently questions. After this, we will go through the solution challenge of 2021 to get a more idea about the solution challenge 2020. Please move the slide. Yeah. So the Developer Student Club 2022 solution challenge, which is to solve for one of the United Nations 17 sustainable development goals using Google technology. In this, you can use any Google platform or Google technology, and you have to solve one of the UN Sustainable Development Goals, 17 Sustainable Development Goals to get through it. Can you just on the video of this sustainable goal?
You're talking about the first video?
Yeah, B.
Okay.
So that they can get the more idea of what sustainable development goal is. The Am I audible to you?
Okay, should I play the next one as well?
No, the Am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. So actually, every year a different set of topics which can improve the lifestyle of people and create a positive impact on the society. As you have witnessed this video which we have played earlier, which shows all the 17 sustainable development goals of United Nations, which consists of poverty, life on land, partnership, sustainable cities, etc. So these are few sustainable development goals which we have, and you have to solve on this basis. The main aim is to end poverty, ensure prosperity, and protect the planet. Can you just move the next slide? You have to right now you are as you are. We need to figure out the solution for these sustain SDGs problems. After that, if your team gets selected in this, then the following process you will get at different stages. After we are not able to see this PPT, can you just share it again? There is some network issue in this.
If there is some issue in the network, you may write in the chat box. That will help us navigate through it.
Okay. So can you just share this again?
Is it visible now?
Yeah, shall I start? Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay. So after the deadline of 31st March 2022, if your team gets selected into top 50 teams, then you will surely receive customized mentorship from Googlers and experts to take to the next level, and a t-shirt and a certificate. After that, if your team get into a top 10 finalist, then surely you will receive additional mentorship, a swag box, and the opportunity to showcase solutions all around the world and demo day live on the YouTube. And if you are among those remarkable contestant finalists, then in addition to those swag box, you will receive a cash prize of $1,000 per student. And if you are those remarkable top 3 winners, then surely you will get a cash prize of $3,000 and a feature on the Google developer blogs. And these are really remarkable prizes which you get, as well as you will be the part of one of the biggest community of this technical world. Please move to the next slide. So now we are on the judging criteria, on which you will be judged. Your solution challenge will be judged. There will be two parts. First one will be impact, and second one will be the technology. First of all, you will be covering the impact point, where you will get the 60 points of it. First of all, does the entry establish a clear challenge focus on one or more of the United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals? So you have to take at least one of the solution, one of the sustainable development goals to define the solution to that challenge. And whether you have explained it clearly or not, it will be shown. And if you have done that, then you will receive 10 points over here. The second criteria will be how effective your solution that will be identified by the team. Your solution should be effective. Your solution should be probably not on the paperwork only. It should be effective for the real world. If your solution passes the test, then you will get the 20 points. Then the third criteria on which you are going to be judged is that whether your evidence of a next step does the display a plan for future extension. Like, we can't be prepared for a present scenario. We have to take a long-term goals where you have your solution should exist for future plans. If your solution passes the criteria, then here you will receive a 10 points. Following another criteria is that if there is any evidence has been thoroughly tested with real users, the solution is for real world or not. If your solution is for real world, and if you satisfy the judges, then here you will receive 10 points. After that, your evidence should have the feedback from users. Like, first of all, you will create the solution challenge, then you will get feedback from your friends, from your family members, from anyone whom you know, and whom you think that they will be the suitable person to give you feedback on it. So feedback is necessary for any challenge. And if you go through it, then you will receive 10 points again over here. So impact of 60 points that's it. If you go through it properly, if you get past in it, then you will get 60 points. Then next we will move to the technology, which covers 40 points. Technology, that the first criteria over here will be you will be judged on all the technical components which you need to solve the challenge. As we are dealing with our technical words, so your solution challenge should cover technical components. If technical points over here, then you will get 10 points over here. Next, if whether you explain clearly Google technology, like Google platform, like we have mentioned earlier, that in solution challenge, you have to use Google platform technologies like TensorFlow, Extra, Flutter. If you go through it and how your code run over here, including the guidance which you provide in this, if this goes well, then you get 10 points again. The third point where on which you will be judged on technology points, on your technology criteria, that is, does the video demonstration show the solution and how a user will interact with the solution? That we are building something for a real world. It should be exist on a real scenarios. Whether the user will be able to demonstrate it, to work on it properly or not. Does the demonstration highlight how the Google technologies are implemented and also mention the value the technology provides the user? So you have to take a technology from Google. You have to use the Google platform for your solution challenge. If you go through it properly, if you do your work correctly over here, then you will receive 10 points. The last point on which, or the last criteria which you will be judged is how effective your product is and your technical decision for their solution. How have you and your team have taken the solution at the technical level? What are the technical decisions you have made for your team, for your solutions? This will be judged over here. And if all this goes well, then you will receive 10 points in this. And if all these 4 points of technology parts are covered, then surely you will get the 40 points in this. I hope I'm clear to you all. If not, then please let me know in the chat box. Next slide, we will be covering the deadlines. We are covering the timeline which you have to keep in mind while solving your challenge. So first of all, the challenge has been started from January only. And to participate in this challenge, you have to join the club as a member. After this, you have to submit your form and you have to form a team. And this team should not exceed of 4 members. We have limitation over here. And the step 4 covers sustainable development, which will be covered from UN. And finally, you have to identify a solution.
I've also shared the link of the form through which people can register. And Aparna, you're audible.
Shall I proceed? Am I audible? Actually, network instability, which I'm going.
No,
Okay,
no, you
thank
can keep
Ananya.
speaking. You're perfectly audible.
Then, after being a member of GDSC and you have formed your team, then you can go for designing and building. Here you will identify a solution. You have the Can you see me?
Yes.
Okay. So, in the next step, you have to design and build for your solution. Step 5, you have to identify the solution where you will you have already selected the challenge section and now you have to work on your solution part. In the sixth step, you will work on your front-end interface and back-end interface. This will be covered under the learning and building section. Seventh step will be you have to test your solution. Whether it is a feasible solution or not. At last, after the fall, you have to iterate your solution, and on last, you have to connect. You have to record. Internet stability is not proper or something like that. So please let me know if I'm audible or not.
Yeah, sure. Your voice was breaking a bit few minutes back, but I think you're audible now. So it's good to go.
Srishti, can you hear me?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, shall I start with from starting?
You can start with the timeline, I guess, from the step one, if that's okay with you, because your voice was breaking a lot.
Okay, no issue. Mm-hmm. Okay, Dee. Am I audible right now?
Yes, you're perfectly audible.
So these are the timelines or deadlines which we you have to keep in mind while working on the solution of this challenge. First of all, you have to get started by joining the Developers Club. You have to register for the 2022 Solution Challenge by submitting the form. We have shared the link of this form in our chat box. You can refer it from there. Then you have to form a team of 14 members. After that, you have to select one of the sustainable development goal from United Nations, which we have shown you earlier in our video. This is the first section which you have to cover to be part of this challenge. After that, after taking a challenge, after selecting the challenge, you have to proceed for solution. And here you have to design the front-end interface along with the back-end interface. Then you have to test your solution, whether your solution is feasible, workable, or not. Then you have to test your solution. If you've done all these work properly, then your designing and building part will be sorted. After that, you have to submit it by March 31st, 2022. Then, then your solution will be judged on those judging criteria. If you select solutions, then you will get a prizes which we have mentioned earlier. This will be done in the mid-April. After that, if your team got into the which will be announced today, and then if you got into those top 10 remarkable finalists, then it will then you will get more prizes and exciting opportunity. And this will be covered in June. After that, in July, you will be announced. The top three winners will be announced live on YouTube. And at the last, we will celebrate all the 2022 challenge. Yadi.
Should I play them? Like these are the particular videos.
Your voice is breaking. Can you please say it again? Dee, I'm not able to hear you. What were you saying?
Yes, just a minute. I'm sharing the screen. I will be playing these videos one by one so that at least people can get the idea. Will that work?
Yeah. Yeah, Dee. We can play this videos to get them the idea of overview. So this is the first video which we are going to play to give you idea, to give you an overview of the solution challenge 2022. As you can see that your deadline is 31st March 2022. So just keep your mind that your solution will be done by this time. Then Dee, can you please on the audio of this video?
Yeah, just a minute.
Yeah, sure. Dee.
Was the video audible? Aparna, can you please confirm if the video will be audible? I'll be playing it for a minute.
It's audible, Dee.
Oh,
Yeah, sure. Dee.
Sustainable Development Goals using Google technology.
Yeah, Dee, it's audible.
Citing the official United Nations website, these goals are the blueprint to achieve a better and more sustainable future for all. They address the global challenges we face, including poverty, inequality, climate change, environmental degradation, peace, and justice. During this video, I will show you how you can research these goals and brainstorm ideas for your solution challenge project. So starting with the official UN SDG site, the first thing I suggest you do is click on each of the goals and read the challenges each goal faces. For example, goal 1, no poverty. This page will give you a good primer to the challenges we face on our road to no poverty. And down at the bottom of the page, you can take a look at the facts and figures and the breakdown of targets defined for each goal. There's also an infographic you can check out to get a high-level overview of the current state of things as it relates to the specific goal. Go over the rest of the goals to get familiarized with them and see if any ideas come to mind about solutions you can build using technology. If ideas do arise, write them down to brainstorm further later. Another great site that can really help you generate solution ideas is DIAL, which stands for Digital Impact Alliance. We're going to focus on two tabs, SDGs and the building blocks, but I urge you to look at the other tabs. They're just as useful for your ideation stage. Okay, so let's look at the SDGs tab and take a look at goal 2, zero hunger. This goal has 8 targets, which help you focus on solving a certain aspect of the goal. For example, target 1, which summarizes as end hunger by ensuring access by all people to good, healthy food all year round. Okay, so immediately ideas start to spark. Maybe you can build a charity app that either accepts donation-safe healthy food or accepts monetary donations dedicated to providing food. Or maybe you can build a volunteering platform that brings people together to help the community at risk. Brainstorm with your team and see what aspects of these problems you are familiar with. Or maybe you have access to communities who are dealing with the challenge. Having personal knowledge of a problem will allow you to design solutions which are far more effective and easier to adopt. Now, let's take a look at Goal 10, Reduced Inequalities. Target 1, achieve and sustain income growth for the bottom 40% of the population at a rate higher than the national average. What a well-defined target. Okay, so now you can start brainstorming again on how you can achieve progress through technology here. Maybe you can build an app or a platform that educates people on financial and saving strategies. Or maybe you can help small businesses grow through education apps or e-commerce and marketing apps that are specific to your community. For example, in my community, the elderly struggle with finding online educational content, and I might consider building an elderly-friendly educational platform. This platform can potentially provide the elderly with equal opportunities of learning new skills and increasing their income. You'll see that going through these web pages will spark many ideas in your mind. Write them down and discuss them with your team. See which idea really strikes a chord with your ability and your belief. You'll be working on this for a while. You want to solve a goal that you are passionate about or that's really close to home. In the next video in the series, I'll be going through a demo case study. I'll pick up an idea and simulate the steps my team and I will take towards a successful demo submission. I hope the United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals inspire you to solve for your community in a meaningful way. We can't wait to see all of your demo submissions.
All right, so now I will be playing the last video that talks about how to build a project walkthrough.
Yeah, Shadi.
Hi everyone, I'm Arman Hazarkan. And in this video, we'll go through the workflow of building a hypothetical solution for the Google Developer Student Club Solution Challenge. In the previous video, we explored the United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals and brainstormed some sample solutions we could build. In this video, we're going to pick one of the sample solutions and together we'll quickly walk through the journey to building a successful demo. One of the ideas we came up with in the previous video was to develop an elderly-friendly education platform solving for the Sustainable Development Goal number 4, quality education. So first, I'll share my initial thoughts with my Google Developer Student Club's members. I'll introduce myself and my strengths, and I'll highlight what types of talents and experience I'm looking for in my prospective team member. For example, let's say I have solid UI UX ability, but I need help when building the server side of my application. And I definitely need help leading the team and managing the project. Once I meet with the potential team members and some of us decide to join forces, it's time to do a design sprint. We do this in order to properly define the problem and then come up with possible solutions. For detailed instruction on this step, check out this video series. Once we're done with our design sprint, let's assume we've defined the problem as mobile apps can be too complicated for the elderly and the buttons are too small. And elderly users sometimes find the discovery stage too complicated or find the course tutor style to be too millennial oriented or fast. Also during the design sprint, we define the solution as 1, build a platform that supports the niche market of elderly education. 2, the client app should be simple to navigate and has minimal distraction, like notifications or ads. And 3, course providers can produce content specifically designed for the elderly, possibly by the elderly, thus providing a revenue stream to a usually underserved demographic. Once we've confirmed it with some potential users, it's time to start designing the user interface. We'll share this load between the team members, but I'll offer to take the lead since I believe I'm good at UX and UI. I'll share my workflow and designs, and the team will go through a few hours of feedback and revision. This stage can take a day or it can take a week. Don't rush to implement the solution before you're confident you've designed a workflow and functionality that solve the problem you have defined. In our design, there are 3 user types: the learner, the helper, and the teacher. And my team members are confident we're catering for all user types in the best way considering our specific market. So it's time to design the technology. We've decided to build a progressive web app instead of spending time building both a website and a native Android app. We decided to use Firebase at the backend to serve the course content to our users. At this stage, we'll probably share our thoughts with our teacher or with the DSC lead and ask for their advice on our design and technology decisions. We'll also ask the DSC lead what workshops we should attend or what code labs we should complete, all in order to be ready for the tasks at hand. Bear in mind, this is just a quick walkthrough of this stage, so be sure to check out my videos on designing the technology or the many resources we have on the website. Next, we will spend the time to build our solution. On our team, we have a couple of members who build the progressive web app and a couple of members who build the server side, front end and back end. You might separate the tasks differently, or you might have less team members. Whatever works for you and your team is fair game. Once we have a beta version, we'll go through some user testing and we'll get feedback. We'll iterate over our code and we'll remove any bugs that we find on the platform. Now that we're close to a great working version of our solution, 1 or 2 of our team members will start researching pitching strategy and how we should present our solution in a demo. We'll record a video demo of our app. And finally, we'll warm up our acting chops and prepare an awesome demo, which will inspire people to use or recommend our app to the prospective demographic. And that's it. Wow. That was 2 to 3 months of effort compressed into 3 minutes. Obviously, I'm not suggesting that it'll be this easy or super quick to come up with a winning solution. But if you're passionate about your problem and your solution, and if you use resources provided such as workshops, hackathons, code labs, you'll have a high chance of developing a solution you will be very, very proud of. So good luck to all of you. Use the resources, and we can't wait to see the awesome solutions you'll come up with.
Aparna, you may continue. These were the total 3 videos.
Thank you for playing these videos, Dee. I hope our audience has got a better vision right now that SDGs are the future goals. They are created 2015 and they need to be achieved by 2030. So in the next slide, we are covering the solution challenge winners of 2021. Here you can get the idea of a few of the solutions which they have done earlier and got selected. Please play Eye of God. The solution is from India and has been selected in 2021.
Just bear with me for a minute. I'll be playing the first one.
Yes.
Will that work?
Because possible the Eye of God. It's from India or Swasthya.
Just a minute. Yes, I can see it. Definitely.
Yeah. These 2 are from India. They were selected in 2021. Be sorry to interrupt you, but I'm not able to hear its audio.
Make an SOS call to a nearby ambulance. Get an appointment with a virtual doctor and more. Build with Flutter and Firebase.
Yeah, it's all right now.
Himanshu, Ishan, and Prasad from the Sarah University in India.
One in 8 patients by PhD due to a disease gets
graduate every year in India. It's the highest in the world. So we knew we have to do something. Including something. So the only self-app you will ever need. To get started, simply sign in with the Google account, get a free game, and that's it. You're ready. Firstly, we build a simple disease recognition system where the users can type in symptoms they are facing and get a broad sense of what disease they might be going through. To get a surety, we added the doctor consultation platform where the patients can directly schedule appointments and have appointments with doctors from across the world right within the app. They can pay the fee easily using Google Pay. And all the appointments are listed in the app from where they can get on a video call with the doctor. After the appointment, the doctor can give you a prescription which you can access at any time. On the basis of feedback from doctors and patients, we added a medicine reminder. Whenever you take a medicine on time, you will be rewarded with hard points, which you can access by swiping left from your home screen. If a user opts to anonymously share their data from the disease recognition system, it will show heat maps based on disease bearing users product and can notify the user in case of interest. We have also integrated discussion forums for the community with people can share their thoughts and help problem needs. Each time you help someone, you will be rewarded with hard points. Lastly, in case of an emergency, the user can tap on the emergency button in our app, and the nearest ambulance will be dispatched to its location. And along with that, the nearby medical volunteers will be notified. We really think this feature will help us anytime. This project was made possible with the help of all these Google accounts. Oh, and you can also ask your Google Assistant for remedies. Here is a remedy you can try. Awesome. Hi, everyone. Good to see you. Hi, Victor. Great to see all of you. Hi. Great. So, Victor, do you want to introduce yourself? And I know that you have a couple questions for the team.
Aparna, should I play the whole video for 11 minutes?
Yeah, Deep.
So I'll be playing the whole video. Will that work?
Yeah, sure, Deep.
Okay.
Yes, thanks, Monica. Hi, Tim. Hi, everyone. I'm Victor. I'm based out of the mountains of Colorado in the US, where I work remotely as an engineer at the UNICEF Office of Innovation, where we look at technology innovation opportunities that exist at the intersection of multi-billion businesses, markets, and 1 billion person needs. I only bring this up because this should definitely resonate with what you're building and your participation in the Google Solution Challenge. So I'm really impressed with what you have built, which is loaded with no shortage of functionality and features. We could easily call it hospital in a box, or rather hospital inside your phone. Which brings me to my first question, which is, given the variety of services that you integrate in your app and the work involved in setting the right partnerships for each, which one or two will you prioritize in the immediate future to maximize early adoption? Right. So every feature that you see in the app has been thoroughly thought before and made so that we can make our product market fit. If I were to list two features that would be the major attraction for early users, I would pick them on the basis of usage and impact. So those two features, according to me, would part about cross-site is that every feature complements the other, be it heat map, discussion forms, or symptom-based disease recognition. This creates a seamless user experience. Obviously, the ultimate goal of our app is to reduce the number of deaths due to lack of the first response in India. So to tackle that, we'll partner up with public and private hospitals to create a network of ambulances that will leverage our FS features further, thus making cross-state the best in the segment. Makes perfect sense, and I really like hearing that you're putting impact first, and that's sort of your measure of success and deciding where to go. Let me switch gears, and now for more of a technical question. I'm curious to hear what parts of the Flutter platform made it easier for the app development process versus what parts of the platform didn't quite fit the needs of your app and you had to write some custom code for it. I would like to tackle that. Let me just begin by that we love Flutter. And just to give you a little context on why, see, so most of the folks in our team, we come from an Android and web background. And I know that as engineers, we should not use words like magic, but the first time that I used preloading Flutter, that's exactly what it feels like. Pure magic. Usually on Android, you have to go through this whole changes process just to see your code changes reflect in the app. And in Flutter, like it's crazy fast. Give or take 2 or 3 seconds. Plus, apart from that, of course, that capability of Flutter, the ability to still you can still write and go create code using the channel. And of course, the Dart language, personally for me, like it's kind of this perfect blend between the power of C# and the still maintain the flexibility of JavaScript. And coming to some of the challenges that it faces in building Sparky, Himanshu has a lot more to add on that.
Yeah, sure. So honestly speaking, all the requirements of Sparky were already met by Flutter. However, we face some limitations by adding specific features to it, like integrating it with Google Assistant action. We use intent filters for voice action and message channels to ask for data, but we cannot create our own voice action. So we create a separate Google Assistant app for Sparky itself. Another limitation was how to create the heat map. For this, we have to customize a particular plugin according to our use case, and it did our. Also, the GC plugin was not released at that moment, so we had to rely on third-party payment gateway services that support P2P. So these were some of the limitations that I can recall of right now.
That's great to hear. I'm glad to hear that you figure out your way out through the development phase. Very quickly, I'm really curious. Swasti, I really like the name. It's like a hybrid of Hindu and English. Is there any cool, like 1 minute line story that you can tell us behind the name? Yeah, it took us a couple of months to actually come up with a name. Like initially, we called it Project Code Red because like red is the color for hills, kind of that symbol. But later on, like, we wanted to because like this solution is focused on India, our country, and we wanted to resemble that somehow in the name itself. So Swasti, like Swast in Hindi, it means health. So we just combined that and added an adjective, added a Y because it sounds cool. That's how we came up with it.
I love it. Very neat. Back to you, Erica.
Great. Yeah, I was also curious about the name. Thanks for sharing. So let's bring in the audience question. We have a question from BKG. Thank you for asking this. So how effective have the app trials been?
Sure. Yeah, we would love to talk on that. Okay, I would like to say like a product is of course only successful if the user chooses to use it, and that is why testing is one of the most crucial aspects of creating any solution. And to be very honest, like in these COVID times, it was a bit difficult for us to reach out to hospitals and other medical officers and patients, but still we managed to go out with this nearby nursing home in Panchkula, which is small town area. And over there, we reached out to the staff there regarding the problems they were facing, the medical staff, and we need to get medical training opportunities that they receive while they are graduating, while they are studying. And along with that, we also asked a couple of patients about the problems they have to face on day-to-day basis to get medical support. And some of the things that we received were, and we also implemented were, like first of all, patients not usually patients not take medicines on time, and they tend to forget that, and some even hide medicines from their caretakers for some reason. So for that, we integrated medicine reminder built into Swasti. And the second, like most of the times, patients don't know what type of doctor or specialist to consult for a specific disease. Like most of the times, whenever you are going to any visit your local physician or clinical doctor. And for that, we added a symptom-based disease system. And of course, in some rural areas, there's a shortage. Like there's not that much, and not a lot of good doctors available in all the regions. So that's why we added a doctor consultation feature also, and these are all integrated within. So like if you search for some disease, some symptoms on symptom-based system, you get recommended, hey, this doctor might be good. You can just book an appointment over there. Once you book an appointment, then whatever prescription the doctor gives you, it's automatically added to your medicine reminder, and you will get the.
That's great.
I wanted to add something immediately. We successfully conducted the SOS trial with the help of the GDSC. There, a person suffering from heart attack
will make some more features and integrate into our app.
Wow, that's great. Thank you. And Victor, did you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, that's awesome. I wish you best of luck. I think you're doing a great job. And I wanted to build on that last comment in that your opening video starts with this start on preventable death. And I'm really looking forward to crossing paths again in a couple of years where you say, well, before SWAT existed, these were the number of preventable deaths. Now we are here. And this is our work. So keep it up. Good luck.
Good luck. Yeah, I would love to see that as well. We'll check back in a couple of years. Join us for the demo day in the future. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing more about your project, and the audience vote for this team if you're your favorite team. Thanks so much, everyone. Bye.
Aparna, you may continue from here.
Yeah, surely. So right now we have seen this Swastika video, Swastika project, which they have won in 2021 as a solution challenge winner. Now we have got a fair idea of what solution challenge is and how they work. So right now you have first of all you have to select your sustainable development goals on which you need to work, on which you need to prepare your solution by using Google platforms and technologies. Have you shifted the slide?
Aparna, can you write in the chat box? Your voice was breaking a bit.
Okay, just give me a moment.
Is the shared screen visible right now?
Ananya and
Yes,
Bhavika, please confirm.
it's visible.
Great. So Aparna, would you like to continue, or should I take over, as you say?
Actually, I'm not able to see your screen properly. Still, I'm on the previous slide only, that video slide. I'm not able to see the slide on which you are.
Everyone else, please confirm which slide is visible to you so that I can adjust it accordingly.
Self-paced code labs.
Okay, Aparna, can you see it? Okay, so I can then continue for a while. since Aparna is, I guess, having some network issues. So right now we're talking about the self-paced code labs. And
No, it's sorted.
okay, so these are the self-paced code labs that includes Android basics in Kotlin, Firebase, Flutter. And as you can see on the screen, you have TensorFlow, then Google Assistant, then data engineering and analytics, and web pathways. So these links I'll be sharing in the description of the event as well. So from there on, we can just have some learning paths and improve our skills for a project. So that will be really helpful. These are sort of trainings and pathways, or you can say the courses that you can continue with, so that you get a better idea of what exactly this technology is. After that, we have the design sprint kit. So one popular method you can use to identify your solution is an exercise developed at GV, that is also formerly known as Google Ventures, and it's called the design sprint. And it is usually done as a 5-day exercise. The design sprint is a flexible framework for solving the problems through designing, prototyping, and testing ideas with user. So it allows the teams to validate ideas before going through the energy of building a product. So just to understand a bit, we have a few links here. So I will try to share them. The first one is understand. So we need user journey mapping. Then we have user interviews. Then we have the experience mapping. Then the second one is define. We need to design the principles. And as well as we need to define the success metrics and signals. And then we have sketch, that's crazy eights. Design, that has present solution sketches, and then we have prototype, that's storyboard prototyping tools, and at the end we have validate, that is usability study and cognitive walkthrough. So again, we have here some of the tutorial videos. So I would start with the first video, and please confirm once if that is visible to you. People can get a fair idea by looking at these videos. So is this visible? Okay, great.
We build apps and websites, delivery services, meme generators, and well, you get the point. Why are we doing this? What's the point of this technology? My name is Armand Zerkani, and in this video, I plan to answer these questions and more. Welcome to the Developer Student Club's Solution Challenge. Here at Developer Student Club, build solutions to local problems. So what makes a solution successful? What separates successful products used all around the world and products that fail to get any users? Simply put, successful solutions solve a well-defined problem and unsuccessful solutions don't. Let's look at an example. A lot of times people will jump right into building a project they're super excited about. They'll spend weeks and even months developing, leading up to an incredible launch with 0 users. That's not great, but for some reason, this is a time-old story, and it happens to students, entrepreneurs, and even large companies. Why? Most of the time, it's because they started at the wrong place. A lot of scientists, engineers, and inventors alike start by thinking of a really cool idea rather than a really tough problem, which leads to all these really cool ideas with no real-world application. The key is to start by identifying a problem, then deciding how you want to apply technology to solve that problem. When building any project, the most important step is identifying a true problem, something that people truly feel. A lot of people don't spend enough time here because honestly, it's difficult and it's time consuming. Like anything else though, the hardest part is getting started. So here are 3 ways I'd recommend to help begin the process. Why not just start right on your campus? Grab a pen and paper and go speak to as many students, researchers, and faculty you can find. Ask them where they spend most of their time, what they find most difficult, and what they wish they had. Over time, you'll notice some trends that you can use to define shared problems right on your campus. David Assem and his Developer Student Club in Ghana used this approach to develop a VR application for first-year students on their campus. You can also approach local businesses or NGOs. You can choose one business or organization and solve a problem specific to them, or you can choose to identify and solve a shared problem for a group of these organizations.
Either way, it begins with a conversation. You can send emails or make calls, but it's often best to just go and knock on some doors. Grab that same pen and paper, hop on a bike, and ride over to these local organizations to ask them how you can help. You can also identify problems at the community level. These are problems that your community shares as a whole. One developer student club in Jakarta was in a community that suffered from floods every year, causing damage to homes and lives. They realized that if people had more time to react to the crisis, a lot of damage could be avoided. The team learned all of this by speaking to members of their community and learning about their pains. Eventually, this led to them creating an app that allowed users of a community to alert each other of oncoming floods, saving infrastructure, money, and lives. Now, I'm not sure if you noticed, but these three methods have one thing in common. They all start with a conversation with a student, an organization, or any other member of your community. If you speak to enough people, you'll feel the friction in their lives. And once you do, you can identify their problems. Once you've done this, you're on your way to building a great solution that'll touch lives right in your community.
All right, so that was all about identifying a problem. Now I will be starting with the second video on how to design the technology. Please confirm once the video is visible to you.
Mobile device, laptop or desktop computers, tablets, or even smartwatches. But this is only a part of the equation. My name is Arman Hazarkani, and in this video, we will discuss what else goes into building great technology solutions. Welcome to the Developer Student Club Solution Challenge. Most applications have what's called a front end or client. This includes the mobile devices, laptops or desktop computers, tablets, and smartwatches that we know and use. There's also another side to the equation, which is called the backend or server. And most backends have multiple parts, which can mostly be bucketed into running code, data storage, and other services. Let's walk through an example. Let's say we want to build a photo sharing application. We can start by defining the client. In this case, we want it to be a web application. Then we need somewhere to host our backend and run our code. For that, we choose Cloud Functions. Cloud Functions is a tool which allows developers to write a function in Python, Node.js, or Go and trigger it over the internet. It also handles all of the scaling for us, so it's really good for beginners looking to develop web applications. We also need somewhere to store our user information, like usernames. For that, we can use Firebase Firestore. This is a NoSQL database which is fully managed, meaning that it handles all the scaling for you. Lastly, we need to store our photos somewhere. For that, we'll use Firebase Storage. This is Firebase's file storage system, allowing you to store photos on the cloud. Just like that, we designed our photo application. What if we wanted to add photo searching functionality, like in Google Photos? To do that, we can use the Cloud Vision API. The Cloud Vision API uses advanced machine learning, and it allows us to automatically create tags for all of the images, letting us search through all of our photos with key terms. What if we have a bit more experience programming and want to use a popular web framework like Django, Express.js, Ruby on Rails, or Spring? In that case, we can use App Engine. This is Google Cloud's platform as a service tool, which allows you to upload your code and it handles everything else for you. Lastly, we might want to add different types of clients that each interact with the backend, giving our users access to their photos on all of their devices. Like anything else, this is much easier said than done. So to help you actually make these decisions, we've created a 3-step process. First, we make a list of all of our considerations or constraints. Make a list of everything that might impact how this product is built. That means everything from how the user will use it to what your team's technical experience is. Next, you should do research and make a list of all the tools that you may use. To see a list of all of Google's developer products, go to developers.google.com/products and browse around to see what tools fit your needs. The last step is actually designing the technology.
For this step, take out a piece of paper and a marker and divide it like so. In each part of the grid, you'll write what tools you'll use and what purpose they will serve. When creating any piece of technology, the point is to solve a problem. You should start by identifying that problem, then identifying the solution to that problem. After that, you should define how a user will actually interact with the solution. We just discussed the last step, designing the technology. And now you're ready to build a great solution that'll touch lives right in your community. So what are you waiting for?
All right, so we just got over with designing the technology, and now let's move on to the third video that talks about how to identify a solution. Please confirm in the chat box once the video is visible.
In our last video, we talked about identifying a problem. But a solution is just a problem. My name is Arman Hazarkani, and in this video, we'll discuss methods in which we can identify a solution. Welcome to the Developer Student Club Solution Challenge. So we've defined our problem. Let's say if the college students on our campus find it difficult and time-consuming to find places to study. We define this, as we discussed in our last video, through conversation. Now it's time to find a solution to this problem. The output of this step can be something like a tool that lets students reserve study spots on their campus, or a tool that lets students see their campus's real-time availability. We don't want to build or even design the solution yet. Those steps come next, and we'll cover them in the next two videos. Instead, we want to identify on a more basic level how students can find places to study more easily. One popular method is an exercise developed at GV, formerly known as Google Ventures, called the Design Sprint. Usually done as a 5-day exercise, the Design Sprint is a flexible framework for solving problems through designing, prototyping, and testing ideas with users. It allows you and your team to validate ideas before going through all of the energy of building a product. On day one, you map out the problem and choose a specific target. So for our example, we would map out how students are currently finding study spots and who our target audience will be. Maybe college first years who don't yet know these cool secret places on campus. The second day is for ideation. You'll come up with as many solutions as you possibly can, and there is no wrong answer. My favorite exercise for this step is Crazy Eights, where each member of your team on their own comes up with 8 ideas in 8 minutes. Now we have this big pool of solutions, and the next step is to pick the best one. For this step, I'd recommend using the dot voting method because it's super simple. Just have every team member hang their sketches on a wall and quickly present their solution. Then, when it's time to vote, have each team member draw a dot on the 3 solutions they like most. On the 4th day, we create prototypes. I'd recommend drawing wireframes and using a tool like Marvel to turn them into a clickable app or website. Lastly, we test our prototypes with real users. You'll conduct interviews and you'll find some patterns which will ultimately lead you towards the best solution to your problem. The design sprint is presented as a 5-day exercise, but it's flexible, so you can do it on your own timeline. You should walk into this exercise knowing the problem you want to solve and leave this exercise with the solution that you are confident in. Problems are just problems until you've found a solution. Hopefully after this, you're one step closer to building a great solution that'll touch lives right in your community.
All right, so that was all, and we have one more video about designing the interface. So let's just quickly watch it, and please confirm me once that's visible to you.
The problem we're tackling is that college students on our campus find it difficult and time-consuming to find places to study. And our solution is a tool that lets students see study spot availability in real time. Now, this is very broad. We could end up building anything from a mobile app that lets students stream camera footage to a real-time VR experience, letting students roam around the campus library from their dorm room. Now, it's time to design how users will engage with our solution. My name is Arman Hazarkani, and in this video, we will discuss interface design. Welcome to the Developer Student Club Solution Challenge. Interface design has two parts: user experience and user interface, UX and UI for short. UX covers how people will use the solution, while UI covers what the solution looks and feels like. A lot of UX is research, and this research is done in cycles. The first step in the cycle is build. The point of this step is to create a prototype that you can learn from, so don't spend time making them super detailed or beautiful. In fact, most of the time, users will be most honest with you if your prototypes don't look perfect, because it'll seem like the idea is in its early stages and more malleable. After you build, it's time to measure. For this step, you should conduct some user research. This is admittedly very difficult, so here are a few quick tips. If a participant asks you a question, take note of it, but don't answer. Pause, then respond with another question. Have two people from your team attend each interview. One should engage with the participant while the other is furiously writing down notes. Don't ask, hey, what do you think of my app? Instead, ask users to complete a task and take note of any friction they faced in trying to complete that task. If you're building a calendar app, for example, you could ask the user to create a new event or delete an existing event. Lastly, it's time to learn. For this step, get together with your team and compile all the feedback to see what worked and what didn't. Then, of course, it's time to repeat. After you've completed the build, measure, learn cycle enough times, you'll want to move on to building a higher fidelity mockup. This is where UI comes in. When you're thinking about UI, there are three things to keep in mind: design principles, design elements, and UI pattern. Design principles are things like information hierarchy and proportion. Information hierarchy is the arrangement of data such that it creates an order of importance. For example, when you're looking at someone's resume or CV, can you easily find their name? Can you easily find their work experience? If not, the document needs better information hierarchy. Design elements are things like color and shapes. These may seem simple, but their use can greatly affect design principles and the usability of your solution. For example, think about what it means for text to be highlighted as red. Good use of design principles and design elements is hard to master. Luckily, people have been doing this for a while, so your users have been trained to use tools a certain way. For example, if a user sees a square checkbox, they know they can select more than one option. If a user sees a button, they know they can click it. And if that button has a little triangle on it, clicking it will reveal more options. This is great news. It means we don't necessarily need to be professionals in color theory to design highly usable and even beautiful solutions. We can simply make use of these commonly used UI patterns. When creating any piece of technology, you should start by identifying the problem, then broadly identifying the solution. We just discussed the third step, designing the interface, which allows us to decide how a user will interact with our solution. Now, you have an interface and you're one step closer to building a great solution that'll touch lives right in your community.
Great. So that was all. And I will be moving back to my PPT. Please confirm. Okay. So these are some of the frequently asked questions. The first one is, can my solution solve a problem outside of the scope of the 17 Sustainable Developer Goals? So for that, the answer is, for the Solution Challenge 2022, we require the submitted solutions to solve for at least one or more of the 17 SDGs. When you have submitted your solution, please review all the 17 SDGs to understand which SDG your solution is focused on and what SDG targets you are looking to solve for. The next question is, can one student or a team submit with multiple project submissions if they have contributed to both the projects? So the terms and conditions state limit one entry per person. So each student can only be part of one submission. The third question will be, can I still participate in the solution challenge if there is no developer student club at my university? So the answer is yes. As a student, you can still participate as long as you team up with at least one student at an existing GDSC university. You must join that GDSC community through the GDSC event platform. We recommend you to then reach out to the GDSC lead for guidance and how to join or form a team with their community. So this was all about the FAQs, and here it is written that, due to the COVID-19 scenario, we need to keep social distancing, and there are a few other points that I'm going to quickly read out. So our judges will surely be mindful of the limitations that have been added to by COVID-19. And this includes, but not is not limited to, ability to meet as a team, ability to have user test a solution, lack of internet access or proper developer environments due to displacement for your college campus, and so on. So everything will be taken into consideration, so need not worry about it. The main focus should be to develop sustainable solutions that can actually solve the real world problems, and that's all. So here are the 2021 Solution Challenge winners, as you can see on the screen. So from India, it was a Swasthi team that we have already seen, and you all can just try to make this sort of solutions that actually solve the real world problems and eradicate them. So what participants said in the past, these are the few of the feedbacks about Android, Flutter, GCP, Firebase, and TensorFlow. So I have shared the slide. You may read it if you want to. I'll be moving forward. So the 2021 Solution Challenge Demo Day was hosted live on YouTube on August 26th, 2021. And it showcased the top 10 winners and the solutions. So if you wish to check it out, you may search on the internet, or else I will be providing the link on the events page as well on GDSC platform. So Google product experts and the viewers asked the team questions to learn more about the projects. So you can definitely watch it to get some good idea of how the projects are developed, how you are supposed to develop them, and what was basically the idea or the vision behind making those projects, and how they eradicated the problems in their locality. So feel free to do that. So that was all, folks. We can't really wait to see what you built. Our club, GDC RCEW, looks forward to make great solutions that eradicate the real world problems that are in India or maybe in our locality. So we will be looking forward for your participation. And if you guys have any doubts, feel free to ask from me or my core team members. We will be more than happy to help. Aparna, would you like to take from here?
Yeah, I guess me and my team has enlightened about this solution challenge. But still, I would like to draw your attention on few of the perks which you will get. So first of all, you will become part of a student community, that is student clubs. Then you will get to analyze your technical skills and learn how to approach a solution to any problem. And you get to learn about various technologies and learn how to work with them. Even you will receive mentorship from developers at Google to improve your solution to the problem. And if you perform well, then don't forget to get the recognition to your solution. Get featured on Google Developers blog, then what are you waiting for? Please go through this solution challenge and grab this opportunity. Thank you.
So that was all, folks. Thank you so much for joining the session. And I really hope you come forward with some amazing solutions for this challenge, and we may win this time. Thank you so much for joining.